Sekiro, where hesitation is defeat. A game that encourages fun rhythmic sword fights through its game mechanics. It's a game that I love going back to often, primarily to replay the boss fights. I've not played another game that captures the feeling of two skilled warriors engaging in a back and forth duel quite like Sekiro. As a result, it's my favorite combat system in all of gaming, and it starts with the posture system. In Sekiro, you can defeat your opponent in one of two ways. You can either slowly chip down their health bar like you would any other enemy in a game, or more likely you'll end up breaking their posture. This is done by maxing out their posture bar, and gives you the opportunity to deliver a death blow regardless of their remaining health. You can inflict posture damage in a few different ways, by attacking, deflecting your opponent's attacks, or countering a red kanji move, which is where red kanji appears above Sekiro and is a warning that the enemy is about to do one of three attacks. A sweep that you can counter by jumping over and kicking them in the head, a grab that you have to dodge or just get out of the way of, or a thrust attack. Now, the thrust attack is the most exciting, because you can counter it with a special move known as a Makiri counter. By dodging towards the thrust attack, Sekiro will step on his opponent's blade and deal massive posture damage. It's important to stay aggressive. Your opponent's posture will recover when they are not attacking or being attacked. The speed in which it recovers is based on how much actual health they have left. The more health they have, the faster their posture will recover. This is shown by how red the background of the posture bar is. The more red, the slower the posture recovery. So doing regular health damage is important too, but a lot of it will come naturally over the fight, as the enemy won't block every single one of your swings, and you can opt to occasionally dodge a big slash instead of deflecting it in order to create a window to get some extra health damage in. This whole posture system also applies to the player, with a few extra mechanics in your favor. Starting with, if your posture breaks, your opponent won't be able to just instantly deathblow you. Rather, Sekiro will just have to take a little break, which admittedly can lead to you instantly dying, as you are completely vulnerable during this time, but it can also result in just a reset of your posture with no real consequence. Additionally, you can hold block to recover your posture at a faster rate, but much more excitingly, as long as you are perfectly deflecting your opponent's attacks, your posture will never break, no matter what. Playing aggressive isn't only helpful in breaking your opponent's posture, it lets you dictate the fight. When you swing first and continue swinging, you put the pressure on the enemy to break your assault. This then makes it a lot more comfortable to react to when your opponent goes on the offensive, and it's usually quite clear. It's either when they deflect you, as seen by the big orange sparks, you see the red kanji appear, or they perform a well-telegraphed move that is clear you need to go on the defensive for, which are usually pretty clear once you've spent enough time fighting that boss. This leads to practice, and why I find so much enjoyment in it. So of course, when you fight a boss in any game, your goal is to beat that boss, and that's still the goal in Sekiro, but I find so much enjoyment in the process of beating a boss, and more so returning to a boss to try and master the fight. Unlike other Souls games, Sekiro's combat is built around having access to only a single weapon. This focus is the reason the combat system can fully hone in on its boss fight experience. You have to truly learn the boss to beat them. You can't even overlevel your health or damage to trivialize any of the boss encounters. They will likely play out exactly as they were carefully designed to, and they were designed to require practice. It takes practice to beat a boss. You have to familiarize yourself with their moves through repetition and execute the correct timing, discipline, and aggression to eventually defeat them. But this is fun. I enjoy getting more consistent with recognizing the various sword combos and patterns of which moves typically follow others. Even if you don't see a boss fall for many tries, you can see the improvement in yourself. After every handful of attempts, there will be more and more attacks that you end up happily welcoming as you become more consistent and skilled with how to react to them. After all, the best part of Sekiro is the boss fights, so it makes sense why that would be what you're spending most of your time doing. A good mindset to have when going into a boss fight is to look at every attempt like a practice attempt. That way, your expectations are perfectly set. It eliminates any potential chalked runs where you make more mistakes at the beginning of the fight than you usually do and just end up wasting your time by letting the boss defeat you in order to reset. If every attempt is a practice run, then regardless of whether the start of the fight is going well or not, you're pushed towards a more optimistic but managed expectations mindset. It's the same mindset that you have when you get a boss to the second phase with no heals. You understand it's unlikely this will be the winning run, but you give it your all just to see how far you can make it anyways. And so eventually, when one of your practice attempts results in victory, you'll get all the excitement of overcoming a difficult challenge, minus all the frustration of coming up short on all the previous attempts. Sekiro's combat is really good, and it shines in its engaging boss fights. The posture system pushes the player to be aggressive, and mixed with the surprisingly generous deflect window, it creates a really fun back and forth flow state environment. Sekiro also has a reflection of strength mode, which allows you to rematch any previously defeated boss. Naturally, this is how I spend a lot of my time in Sekiro these days, as despite the fact that I can comfortably defeat all the bosses through my many hours of practice, it's still fun to jump into the rhythm of my favorite bosses, kind of like listening to an old song you like. And that's why it's my favorite combat system in all of gaming. Thanks for watching. If you've seen any of my other videos, it's clear that this is the most effort I've put into a video, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing, and thank you for your time. Take care.